Continuing my DCEU rewrite series, Man of Steel 3. The film opens with a recap of Krypton's destruction. Then an unknown time later, we see a big, mysterious, skull-shaped ship and it destroys a planet below it, collecting a bottled city. It's Brainiac. We see him store the city and get info from it. One of his robot helpers, Coco, is watching footage they picked up of Superman dealing with Zod and the Elite and Lex Luthor and the Legion of Doom. The main Brainiac unit finds Coco and yells at him until he sees the footage, recognizing Superman as a Kryptonian. So now with their coordinates, they head out. Back on Earth, we see Lex in jail, until one guard shows up standing in front of the cell, and Lex complains he's been here for 10 minutes, as it's revealed that the guard is Clayface. He then stretches a part of himself onto Lex, splitting up, and they switch places. Lex and the part of Clayface make it to a limo, and Lex gives him a big bag of money. Now free, Lex can continue his plans and build back up. Clayface is happy to be free as well as he changes to his preferred form, and he starts thinking, you know what, I don't even need to look like this or my real self. New face. Lex says that he's a very weird man, but very important because we have huge plans, very huge. As Lex escapes and lays low for a while, in Malaysia, thinking that his company will be fine in Lenny's hands as long as he doesn't do something stupid. We cut to them doing something stupid and trying to apologize for their soda being the now unofficial sponsors of the Intergang and Kandor, by saying they don't actually sponsor them, but they will continue selling their product in their location. And Condiment King and LexCorp are officially merging. We cut to the present times. The Daily Planet's doing a story about Bruno Mannheim, a mega church preacher who's kind of weird.
I run into Christians all the time say, how can you support President Trump? He's an immoral man, et cetera, et cetera. I always want to ask, oh, yeah, who is that one candidate that's perfect? I forgot. What's his name? Oh, yeah, there isn't one.
Oh, President Trump is a convicted felon. Well, you want to know something? The man that I worship is also a convicted felon. And he was murdered on a Roman cross.
We're here in Sunset Park to worship and bring back the greatest president we've ever known in our generation.
And Lois is doing an interview with Toy Man, a criminal who claims to be a victim of Mannheim. His father used to work as a contractor for Mannheim, but he wanted to go independent and become a toy maker. But Mannheim, as well as underpaying him, refused to get him out of his contract, and eventually used him as a fall man for many of his shadier practices.
The factory became the front for a numbers racket. Although Bruno Mannheim was named as a suspect, he was never indicted. Only the toy maker, Winslow Schott, was convicted.
The bad man watched and laughed while the police locked the kindly toy maker in the dungeon forever.
Poor guy. He died before making parole.
The toy maker had a son, but without his father, the poor little boy was bounced from foster home to foster home like a little toy that nobody wanted.
And that's why Toy Man's been building giant robots to fill that hole in his heart that Mannheim stole. And he only worked with Lex because he promised he would have helped him. Then the next day, Perry's celebrating the success of the story, and Perry's looking for some new stories to report on. We need something big to show off the new Daily Planet, big our company's getting after that Toy Man story. So Clark says that they could report about the Ben Franklin Bridge, but Perry's like, nah, that's already a couple days old. Not meaningful enough. But Jimmy Olsen says there's a rally going around nearby, we could report about that. But Clark doesn't feel super comfortable reporting about politics, but Perry says, great, do it, but make sure it's bipartisan. Lois thinks that's kind of confusing given his history with Lex, but Perry doesn't care. At the moment that Lex slept with his wife and he's been raising his kids, the courts has finally said that he has to pay for them. But if we see bipartisan, then more people will go to our website and YouTubes or whatever it's called. So get your asses to Philly. Meanwhile, in Philly, we see Task Force X arrive, who were hunting down Black Adam, but now we're even late for them fighting them in Philly. Double awkward, there was even reinforcements there. Brainiac's ship arrives near Earth. As Daily Planet News starts reporting about how even in jail, Lex Luthor is still trying to make money for his presidential campaign.
God bless the USA Bible. This Bible is the King James Version and also includes our Founding Father documents, yes, the Constitution, also the Bill of Rights, the Declaration of Independence, and the Pledge of Allegiance are all part of this.
I want to tell you, I've wanted to do this for a long time. I have some incredible people that work with me on things, and they came up with this, and remember the young people, and we're going to remember SneakerCon, you know that. It's a slightly different audience than I'm used to, but I love this audience. What's the most important thing? To go out and vote, right? We have to go out and vote, and go out, have a good time. We love you all.
We bring you live to a rally and counter-rally in Philadelphia.
But what did he do to make the economy great?
He pumped it into the United States.
He pumped it into the United States.
You pump money into the United States.
Clark's interviewing Hot Streak, and he says that the league just seems like ineffective. And he feels that the U.S. was safer under Lex than it is currently with Waller in office.
Everybody loves him.
You believe the polling?
I believe the people I talk to. I mean, I can't hardly find anybody that doesn't like him. The people that don't like him either aren't active or they weren't going to change their minds anyway, but it's not very many.
He's my guy. He has world support. He has a mission that needs to be completed. He has faith in...
Hey!
He's a rapist and an insurrectionist. He's all of that. He's a racist, rapist.
But wait, I thought he did a lot for the black community.
What did he do for... He tried to pitch us some sneakers. Is he crazy? We don't want those sneakers. Anybody with him on?
He said like black people like him because he's a criminal. So by default, we are criminals, so we like criminals. He have a sneakers, we like sneakers, so we like him because of sneakers. If that is not racism, I don't know what racism is.
You say to all these people here that are like, oh, he made the economy great.
I wish I had an answer. I wish I had something funny to say. This is very troubling that so many black people, so many Hispanic people, and so many Asian people are showing up here in this crowd. I'm embarrassed more so than anything else that people in this country are so stupid.
It's his business. It's not going to affect me. What's going to affect me is Hillary. She's going to make Merry Christmas a banned phrase.
Did you ever consider her?
You know, what I got to say, you don't really want to put it on.
Let me hear it.
Well, a woman's not going to be a good president. She don't have no balls to scratch. She's just going to scratch her head. All a woman's good for in my book is having babies and taking care of the house, but that's the old thing, you know. But I'm old school.
So you never even considered her?
No.
Mainly because she's a woman?
Because she's female. I mean, females, don't take me wrong, females know what they're doing, but they still got to have a little bit of guidance.
Do you know about January 6th?
No.
So when I say January 6th, that means just...
Nothing. I don't know.
That's just a day to you?
Yeah.
Did you hear about the insurrection attempt at the Capitol?
No.
The media is lying.
Do you think a lot of black and Latino people have shown up for Trump today?
They are non-educated. These are idiots, bro. Like, they don't know what's going on. All they heard is Trump's giving all a stimulus check, whatever the hell it is.
They're literally blinded by what Trump did with that stimulus. He have not done nothing. He have not liberated the black and brown community. He have not. He done what every other president have done. They kept us at bay, kept us at a level that we need to elevate.
Clark's interviewing one lady named Nat Irons, and she's saying something about how she really, really hates how people in power keep campaigning about how violent the world is and how they have the right answers for it, but then end up doing nothing with their power. How Lex, a literal convicted felon, is saying that the crime rate has increased without him.
I'm pretty sure he's only made terrible decisions throughout his entire presidency. So I have no idea why there are even people of color coming to this, because he doesn't care about them. He treats us like numbers, if anything.
So what has Trump done to make the economy great?
Oh, when he was president, he gave money to everybody. So, I mean, with this Biden, everything is corrupt. People stealing cars, breaking into people's apartments.
I mean, like Law and Order?
Yeah.
Like what kind?
Well, all these people coming illegal, send them back.
What's some things you think he'll do day one to fix the economy?
Well, all the illegal immigrants, send them back.
What Trump did to make the economy great?
What do you mean? When he was in office, I was making money. Now the country is dead. The dollar is dead. Biden destroyed this country.
Team thinks they got enough footage, but then Brainiac finally selects a city, and he sends his drone down to encase the city in a bubble. There's a bunch of accidents and a Shazam cameo as he flies into the dome like a bird flying into a window. Everyone's confused. The squad's in the bubble still. Just as they were about to leave, But then one of the squad members were outside of the bubble when it went up. As it starts flying away, he starts panicking, and the hook gets his head detonated for being too far away from the rest of the squad. Lois keeps trying to report about what's going on. People inside the bubble are not happy. Clark and Jimmy sneak off to go into their superhero outfits, Guardian and Superman. And it's been a while, Superman can get a new outfit. As a shrunken down Brainiac enters the dome and explains the situation, Brainiac says that he is a preserver, here to preserve mankind from the destructions of their home world. Superman decides to investigate, and Guardian stays on the ground to protect everyone from something that might happen. And that something that might happen is the crowds both being very upset about being bubbled and start attacking each other. One of the members of the squad, Bronze Tiger, tries breaking it up, as Nat from earlier sneaks off, and it turns out she's Steel. She tries breaking through the dome to no avail, and one of the members of the squad, Pied Piper, plays his flute and calms everyone down because of hypnosis. Clark makes it up to Brainiac, and he tries getting him to explain what's going on for real. It turns out that Brainiac knows Kal-El, because he is also Kryptonian. So Brainiac explains long ago on Krypton, Brainiac units were created to go out into the galaxy and preserve life, any which way necessary. Document their findings and preserve their knowledge. This one, Unit 5, is the only one still active, continuing his purpose in preserving and documenting life, in domes. And we zoom in a bunch of the domes, and one of them has a Wonder Twins reference. But Brainiac also reveals that many of these worlds were destroyed because he found mutation on them and had to preserve life. Superman thinks he's a maniac. But Brainiac says that this is his purpose. The world you know as the Earth is heading towards total climate disaster due to its people's pollution, as well as massive amount of mutation from introduction of mass amounts of kryptonite. Much like Krypton, as soon as the world cracker is ready, the Earth will be destroyed, and it'll soon pick out all the mutations within the Earth bubble. But Superman thinks this is insane. You can use all your advanced technology to save the entire planet, not just one small bit of it. But Brainiac thinks that's illogical, using all that resources for an entire planet. And Superman knows he has to stop him. They tussle for a tiny bit, but it doesn't last that long as he teleports Clark away. And Clark wakes up. He's all confused. A woman introduces herself as Kara Zor-El and says, "Welcome to Kandor, the last surviving bit of Krypton." And we cut back to the Earth, and Lois is still doing some reportering by interviewing all the soups. And Steel says that she was inspired by Superman's hope for a better tomorrow and the government's inability to do anything to actually become Steel. Her uncle John Henry helped her build the suit. Guardian says he was inspired by Superman and Batman to just be somebody and try helping out in this world. And Lois goes over to the squad, and we hear on their radios that Waller tells them not to give away any more than they already have to her. So KGB says they're top secret government agents, leave them alone. And Pied Piper is talking about how he didn't really want to be a supervillain originally. He just found the frequency that's able to control people and animals and all of that. I always wanted to be a performer since I was young. But honestly, the supervillain stuff was kind of cool at first, but I just want to get all this done with and just move out, get a job in orchestra, hopefully settle down with a cute guy. And then Trickster's like, "Ew, you're gay?" I'm here just because I was busted trying to steal meds for my dad. And Harley's like, "So what if he is? I'm dating a plant that's down in Brazil. I'm here because I just stole a bunch of credit cards." I don't think Waller even remembers that whole starfish thing. I'm pretty sure it's been leaked by this point. And Clockeen's like, "That's really cool, Piper. I always wanted to own my own club or even just work at the Iceberg Lounge." Don't listen to Trickster. Be the pipe-blowing fairy you want to be. And Bronze Tiger and Catman say they were inspired by Batman but made it up with the wrong crowd. And KG Beast is upset that everyone keeps talking to the reporter. Back with Superman, it turns out Kara is his cousin. And he's depowered because of the red sun that's meant to represent the red sun of Krypton's homeworld. He tries talking with the Elder Council, made up of some members from Man of Steel, and even a new one that's played by the original Supergirl actress. They think Kal-El is weird for not being born of the cloning pools, instead being born biologically, and they refuse to fight against Brainiac, who preserved them. Just be with your people and relax. Clark is upset about this, but Kara decides to show him around and cheer him up. And we see a bunch of Krypton, cool architecture, and some animals from Krypton that are able to produce kryptonite via their breath, which runs the city. Back in Philly, the purging drones activate and they start attacking people. But Coco appears, deactivating them, recognizing Lois Lane from the videos of Superman. And he thinks Superman was right, we should preserve the whole planet. So they find all the costume bros, and Coco's able to grow himself, but he doesn't have the machine to grow others, so there's some Honey, I Shrunk the Kids shenanigans of them being tiny as they sneak throughout the ship. But then they start realizing the Earthcracker is firing up, so they have to hurry up. They find Kandor, and Coco gets them inside. Lois and Clark reunite. Kara's concerned about what the council will think, but Superman's a little more concerned about saving the Earth. So they sneak out, but Kara, seeing the yellow sun of the Solar System, starts charging up, which suddenly alerts a lot of the Brainiac drones and Brainiac himself. Brainiac laments that he has to kill 2 Kryptonians and sends some drones. Piper's a little useless against the robots because the music doesn't work on them, but Trickster actually helps him out. But they end up losing Death Dancer as Kara charges up and helps Clark. Brainiac's thinking about how could they have escaped the bubbles, and then he realizes Coco is near and he grabs the growing thing and grows everyone to normal size. Brainiac then shoots Coco, seemingly destroying him. He goes straight for Clark, being the strongest one there.
All of your efforts have been...
Clark knocks Brainiac into the full Earth, and they start fighting until they land into a swamp. As the rest of the crew is trying to fight the other Brainiac drones and try and shut off the cracker.
You see it all? All this chaos.
You can't face things you can't control. Mud. Smell them? To know everything, your giant brain can't take it.
Brainiac's brain is literally fried from information overdose from being on Earth. They turn off the death ray. Philly's returned.
Yeah, go Superman! Oh, fuck, it's Superman!
With that PG-13 F-bomb, Superman decides to let them go for actually helping out. They thank Steel and think their outfit's really cool, which causes them to start kind of fangirling. Trickster kisses Piper. Harley thinks that's cute. KGB thinks Waller's gonna have their asses for revealing so much to Lois. Catman's like, whatever, we didn't reveal that much, let's get out of here. Clark is curious about that Waller bit, but then it gets interrupted by Coco's alive. He takes over Brainiac's ship and gives them Kandor. He agrees that they'll take the planets and give them a proper habitat, and gives the Watchtower a copy of all Brainiac's information. But then there's a big debate of what to do with Kandor, because, last time a giant group of Kryptonians that went onto Earth, yeah. So it's decided they'll just keep Kandor safe in the Hall of Justice. A bunch of people are still pro-Lex, but a bunch of the people who were in Philly start realizing that Superman is actually a good guy. And Lex was lying to them. Kara wants to stay on the Earth rather than going back to Kandor, so she gets to stay with some friends of Lois's family, the Danvers. She puts together her own Supergirl costume inspired by the animated series, and she even dyes her hair blonde because she just loves Earth culture so much. When Lois asks about Kandor, Clark says, "It was interesting, especially being without my powers for so long. The whole time I was worried about the world and mostly you. Lois Lane, will you marry me?" Then later on the Watchtower, they're celebrating the engagement, and Barry's really weirded out by Supergirl remembering Flashpoint. and credits a tribute to the old Superman films. Our post-credits is Bruno Mannheim doing a sermon about how Superman is a devil from the sky. Him and his cabal stay up in their watchtower looking down on us good people just for them to swoop down and corrupt our innocence. It's kind of clear that Bruno doesn't actually believe what he's saying, but the crowd believes it fully and are totally willing to pay him big bucks for it. And after, he takes a photo of his pretty average looking wife, just for him to go behind stage and throw a picture of Lex away they took photos with. He sits at his giant TV with some supermodels. On the news, people are being misogynist about Supergirl and talking about the events of Brainiac. Bruno's counting all the tithing money, and he's concerned that he only has millions instead of billions. What's the deal? Why aren't the owls paying me more? Just for Glorious Godfrey to appear. And Bruno is very concerned about this. Godfrey says he's been chosen to speak the true words, be a real herald, due to your great influence on this world. And they boom tube out of there.
Where in God's name are we?
That depends. Which god are you talking about?
Welcome to Apocalypse, Mr. Mannheim.
Who are you?
Your new lord and master. You may call me Darkseid.
But what do you guys think? You like my ideas? Do you not? Let me know in the comments below, and if you did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more.